All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, Sim Football Critic. So let's jump right into it, guys. And again, man, forgive me for the background noise. I got my son running around upstairs. My wife is cooking. Y'all know how that works. So, forgive me, but hopefully you guys understand. All right, so let's jump right into it, man. I think I figured out how to make these a little bit faster so they don't be that long. I think what I'm going to start doing is kind of just giving an overview of, what actually happened in the game, like the important components of the game, things like that. And then, I'll highlight a few things, like few turning points or, a few things that was really beneficial to what caused the Steelers to win or lose. Like I said, that'll help me get through it. These are extremely too long, so I got to find a way to keep them down, to a minimum, especially, when I'm doing them here in the evening because you got dinner and all that kind of stuff. What's going on, Rel? Appreciate you coming through. So let me run through all of this stuff, guys, and then I'll take a moment to, answer a couple questions or reply back to what a couple of you guys are saying, and then we'll be out of here. So basically, man, the first thing I want to talk about, first and foremost, these Steelers like to give us a heart attack, don't they? I swear, man, they have a phenomenal game or a phenomenal second half against the Titans, right? They have a phenomenal second half. And, a score of 40-17, you look at that and you say, okay, that looks like what the Pittsburgh Steelers could be, just on paper, not being biased or anything, just looking at it from, looking at everything from what it says on paper. You would think the Pittsburgh Steelers would be rolling along. They got their defense a little better, which a lot better, but, from the eyes of a Steelers fan, the defense has improved a bit. And then offensively on paper, you look at that and say, okay, these guys are going to put up some points, 25 to 30 points a game. Hasn't been that, right? So in the second half of the Titans game, we see them get off. Now, here's another thing. This is the second game in a row where the offense puts up 30 or more points. And not even just the offense. Let's talk about one person. This is the second game in a row where we can say Ben Roethlisberger is playing better football. I mean, I would go as far as saying this was Ben's best full game. He had the 2 picks. Let's talk about the first one real quick. That first interception, he was forcing it into Eli Rogers, kind of panicked a little bit. I believe that was a 3rd down situation, if I remember correctly. Not sure he should have threw that one. That's on him. Great play by their cornerback. I forget his name, number 23. I forget the guy's name now, but great play by him. But that was probably a bad throw by Ben. All right, the next time, Ben kind of stare downs the halfback screen, and guy makes a play on it, tips it up in the air, gets picked off. But look at all of the good that Ben Roethlisberger did. 4 touchdowns. Again, that's the second time in a row he's thrown 4 touchdowns. But look at some of the throws that Roethlisberger made in this game. Phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. He looked like the old Ben Roethlisberger. So I might have to take back what I said as saying that he doesn't have it anymore. Maybe he's not as consistent, but I definitely see in these last 2 games where he can be enough of Ben Roethlisberger to get us a win. He could be enough of a Ben Roethlisberger to get these guys into the Super Bowl perhaps, or perhaps win a Super Bowl. And I'm not saying we're going to do that. I'm just saying, looking at his play, he appears to be a Ben Roethlisberger right now. The way he's played, again, we're just talking about the last couple, just talking about the last few games here, and it looks like I got something here on the screen, guys, so pardon me for a moment. Let me fix that. There's something here on the screen. All right, I just fixed it. Got to fix my little green screen in the back in case you guys are wondering how I do that. But, yeah, he's looking like a Roethlisberger that you can still win with, right? Now, I do see that one of you guys made a good point. Juju, trust him much more, and that was a big hit with Juju not playing. The way Juju has played, we see how different, the second, third option, so to speak, how it is when Juju's not in there. So that's crazy to see how much of an effect he's having. But let me get back to it real quick, man. So looking at how Ben Roethlisberger played in this game against the Packers, I was seeing throws that I haven't seen from Ben in a very long time. Outstanding throw to Antonio Brown on the fade for the touchdown. Outstanding throw to Antonio Brown in between the cover 2 coverage when he threw it between the corner and the safety for the other touchdown. Outstanding throw. Nice throw by Ben Roethlisberger to Martavis Bryant for his touchdown. Good route ran by Martavis. And let's not forget this one. Go back and look at the play, that phenomenal catch that AB made on that last drive to get us going, because he made 2 catches in the last drive. But look at the first one, the one on the sideline. That was a superb throw by Ben Roethlisberger. Ben was going back. He actually threw it off of his back foot. And for him to throw it to that spot on the sideline, and then, of course, Antonio Brown just being the magician that he is, look at those throws. Ben Roethlisberger got off in this game. If he can play like that, we got a chance. We got a chance against anybody, in my opinion, offensively. Now, notice I said offensively. We're going to get into the defense here in a moment. We got a chance offensively against anybody if they can continue to click like they have these last 6 quarters of the season. Not season, but the last 6 quarters in these last few games that they've played. Second half of the Titans in the full game against the Green Bay Packers. Now, here's another thing. Pretty good mix. Le'Veon Bell rushed for 95 yards. Spread the ball around. A couple people had touchdowns. Even a shovel pass to, what's his name? Grimble. He gets one. Antonio Brown gets 2. Martavis gets 1. I like the way the offense was looking. What I still don't like about the offense, though, is I still feel like the Todd Haley is just a little too predictable for my taste. I know there's different coaches and different schemes, but if you look around the NFL, and this is one thing that concerned me about the Patriots, and I'm going to mention this briefly in the end because I don't want to look ahead. But the one thing that I see about the Patriots is the different combinations that they run and formations and, tricky lineups. The Steelers don't really do a lot of that. You look at how creative Andy Reid gets at times. You look at how creative we've seen Sean Payton get in the past. And like I said, the New England Patriots. You look at the type of things that McVay is doing out there at the Rams, what they're doing with their offense. You look at the type of things that Kyle Shanahan used to put together with the Falcons. Why is it that Todd Haley doesn't expose some of these things or explore some of these options with the weapons we have? It baffles me. It baffles me. I mean, we do it so little to the point where when you see a crazy formation, you already know it pretty much was happening because you don't see it enough to be fooled by it. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's Todd Haley or if it's Ben Roethlisberger capability. Because my boy Tony mentioned that to me the other day. He said, listen, man, Ben has never really been a certain style of quarterback. He's always been like the backyard football type of guy. And I'm like, dang, you got to think about it. He has a great arm. You give him time, he step in the pocket, he can deliver. But maybe, I don't know, maybe his style of play doesn't allow us to do some of those things. I don't know. I think Ben is capable of pulling some of this stuff off, but I don't know, man. So that's the one thing I'm still looking at in terms of the offense. It just still seems a little too predictable, even though we're producing. And I don't know if that's just the production of the offense or is it more so the defenses that we faced that, we're just better than. Of course, the Titans was a good matchup. And look what we did to them. And you look at the Packers, which the Packers defense wasn't that bad. But, we're able to put points on them. So there you have it. And here we go. Let's get into the negativity, man. Got a few notes here, guys. And what I'm going to do is give you my quick thoughts on the defense. And then I'm going to run through my quick notations as far as key points or key things I want to highlight about the game. See a little bit of your comments. Then we'll be out of here. All right. Here's the biggest concerns for me at 9-2 for the Steelers. It's the defense. And let me explain what I mean by the defense. Not the defense as a whole. But here are my biggest concerns. Execution and discipline. execution and discipline. And these two could probably be the same in the way I'm going to phrase it. I don't know what we're going to do about Artie Burns, man. I like Artie, man. I genuinely like Artie. I like what he could bring to the table. But his discipline is killing us. His discipline is killing us, man. He's too many times he's either looking in the backfield or he's doing like we saw in this last game. He seems to be playing the wrong area of the field. Now, I got to ask you guys a question too, man. I got to figure out how I could use NFL footage in these videos because, you know, in the past I've tried to use NFL clips and I get a copyright warning or what have you. But I'm trying to figure out how I can. I want to start diagramming some of these plays, man, and showing them to you. I'm going to figure out how to do it. I don't know if maybe I could do some short clips and upload the clip directly to my website. And then maybe we'll just have quick clips there and I'll, you know, direct you guys there to view it. But I don't know. It's troubling trying to do it with YouTube. But I see other people doing it, you know, like SteelersDepot.com. They do a good job. Alex Kazor uses YouTube. And I see other people do it. But every time I've tried to do it, I've gotten in trouble. And I was going to put up an illustration tonight, just the, you know, the photo. But I want you guys to see start to finish, you know, so I could really diagram some of the things that I'm noticing. But anyway, in that play, man, it was a cover 3. Artie Burns' responsibility is that, you know, at that particular time, you know, defense facing this way, he has the right third, deep third of the field, right over here on this side. Artie jumps the post route and doesn't even pay attention to the wheel ran by Randall Cobb, and he's wide open. Now, in that situation, it's okay for Artie to try to give Mike Mitchell some help, you know, the safety over the top, but the fact is that it was a post. So now you basically are allowing the safety to pick that up because the safety's in the middle of the field. You have to make sure there's nothing else in your area coming out of the backfield or just in your general area or going vertical on your side. He jumps the post route. Randall Cobb is wide open. And there was a shot of Tomlin on the sideline. You know, he cursed. I won't say what he said here. Y'all know I keep it clean on YouTube. But he said, basically, it's on film. He basically was saying, we saw this on film and you still made the mistake. This is stuff I'm talking about, man. Artie has made too many mistakes this year. He's given up a lot of big plays. And at first he was doing better. But it seems like, again, like I said, he's either jumping the wrong guy, which it happens, guys. It happens. You know, everybody gets burnt. But I'm starting to see a trend with Artie, and that's the thing that's troubling. And again, to see Coach Tomlin react that way, saying, man, it's on the film. It lets me know that Artie did the wrong thing there, even if I didn't know anything about defensive coverage, which I do. All right? That's one thing. Another thing, he's peeking in the backfield a lot. Don't know what that's all about. Another thing I don't like about the defense that I'm seeing here of late, in situations where it's a second or say 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 1 or something like that, a situation where it might be a run-pass option, the cornerbacks, some of them are still playing off. I don't understand that. Now, Artie Burns, think about that play where they threw it out to Jordy Nelson real quick. Artie came up and made the tackle, almost stopped him there. But if Artie Burns is supposed to be a press corner, let him get up in his face. You know, at least let him roll up a little bit in case it is. Take away that quick smoke screen, you know, that quick run pass option, and they throw it out to the, you know, the guy just turns around and the ball is there. We got to get up in these guys' faces. Now, I can't all the way put that on Artie because that might just be a situation where that's the play call. But again, I would ask Keith Butler, how come we don't get in their face a little more? We do it sometimes. We have played more bump and run this year. But in situations like that, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you try to throw the timing off when you know Hundley is not going to sit back there all day? He's going to look for something quick. So, a couple concerns there with that. But like I said, discipline and execution, which is one and the same. But really, my second concern is tackling. Jesus Christ, man. What we can't be missing these tackles like that. Missing tackles a lot of times lead to big plays. And it used to be a time where maybe we give up a big play, but Mike Mitchell will save the day. Or Sean Davis would save the day and, make the tackle downfield. Now I'm seeing poor tackling after the catch. Mike Mitchell is looking horrible back there. And he, even after the game, he says he puts it on him. I get it. But dude, you got to make these tackles, man. You're the safety. Now, again, guys, I'm not expecting people to make every tackle, but y'all notice when I complain about something, I start talking about trends. I'm seeing a bad trend of missed tackles by the safeties and even other guys, man, when they're getting penetration. We have to shore up this tackling because you cannot afford to allow big plays like that consistently or give up third downs against good teams. You can't do it. Again, let's bring up New England because we know that matchup is coming. It looks like these are the top two teams in the AFC, which I wouldn't count nobody else out yet. Just because we're 9-2 don't mean anything. We're an up and down team. But it looks like it's going to come down to that Week 15 matchup. Could possibly determine the 1 and 2 seed. We're going to have trouble with New England, man, if we're not tackling. And if we're not mixing up our play calls on offense. You watch that game with New England and Miami and just look at the different formations they was coming out with. I seen formations where they had Devlin, which I believe was a fullback, split out. They do a lot of little tricky things. Like even their jet sweep is fast. Like ours, we do end arounds, right? But you can tell when it's about to happen with Pittsburgh. There's really no disguise with it. But New England runs a very tight jet sweep with Brandon Cooks. Like little stuff like that, I think gonna give us some problems. And we're not disciplined on defense. Last thing I'll say about the discipline, man, you looking at Ryan Shazier, he even said it himself on that screen pass. He tried to get cute. He faked like he was going to blitz, then tried to peel out and get to the running back, but he lost his contain because he got sucked in the wash. And it goes for 50-plus yards. We have to stay disciplined. I think the Steelers' defense has greatly improved since last year, but if we are not disciplined, it could be the same result against Tom Brady. I'm just going to say that. Come on. Let's be real. All right, so let's talk about some of the key points of the game, man. Then I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to look at some of you guys' comments, but I don't want to be here too much longer. All right, so, of course, AB and Boswell saves the game, man. They just do. Antonio Brown with the 2 catches, the one amazing catch, and then the second one to get us closer, and Boswell hits a field goal that ties the record at Heinz Field. Phenomenal job. Those 2 guys get the game ball. I put here that we're not ready for the Patriots. I said the defense had a chance to close the show, and they didn't. We had a chance to close the show, and we gave up a drive for a touchdown. This is what I'm saying. We can't have those lull periods like that against the Patriots. We just cannot do it. And I put here mental errors on defense, Burns and Sensabaugh. Let's talk about his real quick. I'm not going to put that much on Sensabaugh. Sensabaugh is a backup. That's supposed to be Joe Hayden out there. Double moves happen. I've seen Richard Sherman get beat on that from time to time. Not often. That's what I look for with DBs is consistency. Sensabaugh has actually been playing decent these last 2 games. Artie Burns, however, we're seeing a pattern, and that's what's concerning to me about Artie Burns. He's a starter. Very concerning. I put 2 picks by Ben Roethlisberger. We already talked about that. Martavis Bryant returning kicks. How do you guys like that? Quick 38 yards right out the gate. Not a whole lot of messing around. He found his lane, cut on the speed, and he's up the field. I like that idea. Why not? If he's not going to be a primary option, which it looks like he's getting back into the fold offensively. But, hey, let's see what he can do back there, man. I did put here Ben was having trouble against man coverage early in the game. That was interesting. Mike Hilton making a lot of plays against the run. I love this kid, man. Mike Hilton, I think, is going to be a special player for us. He's already proven to be special. I said Burns is struggling again in pass coverage and tackling. Yes, he was. Let's see. Now, here's a couple cool points here. The Steelers actually went 3 of 3 in the red zone. Very good. Very good. 3 for 3 in the red zone. We've improved there. Also, third down conversions. These are the two areas that you guys have heard me talk about in the prior weeks. We were 8 for 13 on third down conversions. I like what I'm seeing out of the offense again from the last two games. If we can consistently, you're not going to score 30, 40 points every time. But if the Steelers can, again, go back to my number, 3 touchdowns and maybe 2 field goals. If we can continue to do that, it's 27 points or even 24 points with 1 field goal. Our defense is playing well enough to hold people under 20. I think we'll be fine. Now, we didn't hold the Packers under. Isn't that crazy? I think is that the most points we've given up this season? I think it is, 28, to a Packers team without Aaron Rodgers, Brett Hundley. Brett, I think it's Brett. Brett Hundley played a great game. Don't take anything away from him. And let me dispel some misconception here. I hear people always say that guys, this guy's a bum, he's a rookie, or da-da-da-da. All of these people are NFL caliber players, man. The kid played well. Now, I don't know if it was that he played great or the Steelers played bad. Well, we know they did play bad because we already pointed to 3 mistakes in discipline that have led to those touchdowns. That's 21 points right there. But you got to give them some credit. The Packers aren't a horrible team. Their offensive line is not too bad. Their defense ranked kind of high, I want to say, against the run and stuff like that. So, it still was the Packers. Should we have beat them a little easier than that based on what you would expect? Yes. But you still got to give them credit. They're an NFL team. Why our Steelers seem to play down the competition, I have no idea, guys. But one thing I'm not going to sit here and say or, put any stock into is the fact that the team or the coaches didn't prepare the team. I don't believe that. I believe the coaches and Tomlin and the staff prepare these guys the same way every week. It's up to the players on how they're going to perform. Now, in game, there's some coaching decisions we can look at and question or agree with. But during the week, there's no way you're going to get me to believe that any football coach prepares his team any differently. All right? Now, speaking of coaching, was that not a bad decision by Mike McCarthy to kick a 57-yard attempt? Wow. This is my next point and my last point. The turning point in the game. Late in the third quarter, I'm going to read to you exactly how I wrote it, because just so you guys can see my process. I said turning point, late in the third quarter, L.T. Walton gets a sack on the bootleg. Shout outs to L.T. Walton. He's done something in each game he's come into play. Watt gives a pass breakup on Nelson, on Jordy Nelson. Oh, wait a minute. Before I finish this point, I don't know if you guys saw this or not. I got the picture, and I wanted to diagram this play, but again, I'm scared that the NFL is going to flag the channel for copyright. Even though TJ, not JJ, even though TJ Watt made the play, I do not want to see this situation again. The Packers was in empty, and we had both TJ Watt and Vince Williams covering wide receivers. I don't know what that was. It was a second down situation, so maybe they caught us in run defense. But when you go back and look at that play, man, TJ Watt is lined up over Jordy Nelson. And I want to say Vince Williams was lined up on, well, he might have been against the tight end. And then Ryan Shazier was covering Devontae Adams. I don't want to see that ever again. Now, if you look at the play, Huntley looked directly at Jordan Nelson. Didn't look anywhere else, which I'm glad he didn't, because Ryan Shazier slipped and fell down. Adams is wide open. But it was a quick decision. Huntley looked directly at Nelson, and I'm assuming he probably figured maybe Nelson against TJ Watt is the best matchup out here. I'm going to take a chance, and TJ made one heck of a play. I'm going to tell you right now, we can get an outside linebacker that can make those type of plays on a pretty solid receiver. Very interesting. All right, so from that point, it was a big sack by Cam Hayward. He had 2 on the day. Cam is balling, 8 sacks on the year. And then we forced a field goal attempt for 57 yards, and they missed it. That was the turning point of the game right there. And the Steelers turned it on from that point. Again, our defense couldn't close the show with like 2 minutes or so left in the game. And it forced us into this ridiculous 17-second drive to kick a game-winning, record-tying field goal from Heinz Field. Like, that's not the situation you want to be in. It's a little concerning, man, that the defense hasn't been able to close the show. I don't like that. All right, so that's all I got, man. Quick assessment. Was there anything else? Drops. We had some drops in that game. Eli Rogers dropped 2, and he did come up big later in the game, converting a drive. Jesse James had a drop. Martavis Bryant, I believe, had a drop. So, these dudes got to catch the ball, man. And that's something that Juju has been, doing a much better job than some of these guys in those situations. So let me go ahead and see what some of you guys are saying, man. Then I'll get up out of here. Appreciate you guys coming through, man. Let's see. Eli had a terrible game, and I think AB confirmed that he is the best in the league. Absolutely. I agree with all of that, barbecue chicken. Sohan Patel says, I was mad at Boswell at first after the extra point, but he showed up at the end of the game. Yeah, it's going to happen. Boz is pretty consistent, so guys are going to miss from time to time, unless you're Justin Tucker. That dude is ridiculous, but, I'm not too upset about Boswell. I don't know how he missed it. May have just pulled it a little bit. With Juju out, who do you think can step up as a second receiver? I'm going to have to say Martavis Bryant, which should have been the second receiver. But Martavis looks like he's getting into the groove, man. It looks like he's finding his way a little bit. Artie needs to step it up. He absolutely does. Grimble has like 7 career catches, 6 touchdowns. Ain't that crazy, right? That was a big one he caught against the Ravens last year on Christmas, the opening drive, I believe. Trips and 5 wide is pretty much our only shotgun formation. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Todd Haley, come on, man. You got so many weapons. Utilize them. Utilize them. Trick some people. My man Dallas Ramsey says he can't wait till Joe Hayden get back. Neither can I. Steelers' best defense? Nah. Nah. I mean, it's funny, though, because if you look at the stats, we're number 2 in a lot of categories, 3, and I think even 4. So the Steelers statistically are right there. We're a top 5 defense. But again, like I said, mental mistakes. You can't have those mistakes against great teams, man. You just can't do it. I think Todd Haley is honestly what holds offense back. There's no reason this offense hasn't been number 1 at least once in the last 3 to 4 years. Hey, I'm right there with you, buddy. You're absolutely right. Big concern to me isn't Artie Burns' ability. It's above the neck for him. That kid with the fro, identical. Most of my thoughts identical. That's exactly how I feel about Artie Burns. Yeah, Danny says stop playing 15 yards every play. Yeah, I don't like that, man. I just don't understand. Again, he's supposed to be a press corner, so I don't get it. Let's see. What else are you guys saying? Mike Hilton is a godsend. I believe so. Steelers number 1 in the AFC. Yeah, but that number 1 is tricky. I would still give the edge to the Patriots right now, to be honest. All right, and the last thing here, Joe Flacco is elite, but now he's hurt. Todd Haley is like Martin Morningwig. Doesn't make the right plays fit to his playmakers or players. Joe has a strong arm, and he has short passes. Haley is the same with his weapons in a different way. Yeah, you know what, man? I watched that game last night, and the Ravens defense really won that game for them because the offense is no vertical threat. There's no vertical threat. Not saying guys like Wallace can't get down the field, or I don't know what's up with Perriman. But they just don't take any shots. Yeah, it was interesting watching that game last night, man. I have to agree with you there. All right, so that's about it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for now, man. I will and should be able to get to the pregame this week. We'll talk about the Cincinnati Bengals probably Friday. So let's say Friday, maybe Saturday morning, but I should be able to get that done. And what I may do is just go ahead and pre-record it like tonight, tomorrow, or Thursday, and then just throw it up on Friday or what have you. So that's all I got, man. That's my quick assessment. Those are my biggest concerns. They're 9-2, but that 9-2 is, yeah. You know, I think we're a good team, but we got to continue. We have to put it together. We need more games like the second half of the Titans where offense and defense is playing consistently in order for us to really feel like we're the best team in the AFC. Right now, I still would have to give a quick nod to the Patriots, even though, you know, we're the same record and, you know, due to some legality, you know, logistics or whatever, like us beating the Chiefs, they losing to the Chiefs, that's why we're number one. We'll see. We'll see. So, all right, that's all I got for you, man. Don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Cut the notifications on so you are aware of new videos. And I promise, man, it'll never hurt you to hit that like button. And if you're here just for Steeler content, this is normally what I do on Tuesdays, and I will start to add a pregame on Fridays. And if you're here for gaming, y'all already know, stay locked in for that. Got plenty of content coming for you guys. All right, man, y'all take it easy. Until next time, here we go Steelers, and I'll be back at you with a pregame this coming Friday. All right? Thanks for coming through. Peace.